Green 18. Green 19.
Fournette, the running back. 8 seconds, 7 seconds. Brady to throw. Throws a deep pass downfield. And Scotty Miller in the open. Makes the catch. Touchdown, Tampa Bay.
Rodgers fires quickly. End zone is caught for the touchdown by Allen Lazard. First and goal for the 5. Brady. Evans. Did he catch it? Yes, sir. Touchdown. Rodgers spins to his left. Comes underneath, and the pass is incomplete, out of bounds. Now they say complete. 3rd and 1. Rodgers play action. Look to the end zone. Rainbow Jordy Nelson. He's got it. Touchdown.
Mahomes looking under pressure. Throws the ball upfield. It is knocked away at the 50-yard line. Intercepted. Picked off a deflection.
All right, but enough about our.
Well, anyway.
Enough about our bullshit with our past lives.
Enough about us being losers.
What's up, guys? I am back, and welcome to episode 34 of the Battle for the Bay podcast. With me, as always, Draz.
Howdy doody.
Okay, so the Play Not Predictor website did its bullshit again. He had to redo his entire slate, and I had to redo my entire AFC East and West slate. And he has everything completely copied 1-to-1. I might be off one game when it comes to Miami, but what's going to happen? Like, it's not, one game's not going to change it.
The odds are it's not an NFC game, so.
Yeah. But
and if it is, one game's not that bad.
Yeah. That being said, we got to do the NFC side now for our preseason predictions, don't we?
Are we starting with the NFC North?
NFC North, and for whatever reason, it has Las Vegas up on here. All right, but we all know we got to start with the Bears. And the nearly monthly reminder that they produced a Pope. They produced a Pope before they produced a quarterback that could throw for 4,000 yards. Their first American Pope ever before they could throw a before a quarterback.
I feel like they're going to throw for 4,000 yards this year simply because it's so easy to do in the modern era. So
I mean, they didn't do it last year.
Well, now they have Joe Tooney. They actually arguably have on paper a better offensive line than the Lions now. But we'll get to that in the news.
You know how painful that is to hear you say that? That is painful.
It's painful.
I'm barely a Lions
it's
fan.
even more painful when you know it's factually true.
But we always know the Bears are going to find a way to blow it. They always do. And it starts Monday night at home. They lose to the Vikings off the gate. Then they lose to the Lions.
I'm going to have them upset the Vikings at home.
Then they lose to the Lions, and then they lose to the Cowboys. Anyways, you were saying?
Yeah,
Sorry.
they lose the Lions. I'm going to have them, even though they're at home, upset the Vikings. Because J.G. McCarthy's going to have his first week, and he's going to be rusty. And I think at the start of the season, Caleb Williams will be better than J.J. McCarthy, but J.J. McCarthy has one of the best offenses in the league, so by the end of the year, J.J. McCarthy
I can't believe I can't believe I'm saying this about the Vikings, but I'm actually kind of high on them. We'll get to that later, but not 14-3 like they were last year. That was still insane, but
let's see. Then I have the Lions winning.
Mm-hmm.
I have the Bears upsetting the Cowboys.
I actually have that as well. I wouldn't even call it an upset at that point, though.
And then we have the Raiders winning.
Mm-hmm. All right. Then they go into bye week. Very early bye week.
I have them losing their first week coming out of the bye.
They got 2 Monday Night Football games?
Yeah.
But, yeah, they lose to the Commies. They'll win against the Saints. Then
Agreed.
These next two are already filled out. They're losing to Baltimore and the Bengals. They win against the Giants, and I think the Vikings will sweep them.
Win against the Giants. I'm going to say the Vikings get theirs at home and get it back. They split the series.
All right.
Then
I had
we
Chicago
have the Steelers
winning
filled
against
out.
the Bears.
You have them beating themselves.
I mean, it would be the Mike Tomlin route. I have Chicago beating the Steelers.
And then
They
I
get
have
absolutely
the
blasted by the Eagles.
Packers handling business at home.
As they should.
They almost got swept by the Bears last year because of just the Packers
You guys
performing
channeled
poorly.
Chiefs
It wasn't even the
magic
Bears.
in one game.
Then I'm gonna have the Bears beat the. We have the Bears beating the Browns.
I had the Browns beating the Bears. That's like the one thing that stuck around.
One thing I'm gonna do for Packers bias is I'm gonna have the Packers sweep the Bears.
No,
which is believable.
It's believable. That's not biased. That's believable. Then I have San Fran winning against the Bears, and I have the Lions winning against the Bears. So the Lions, they get swept by their division. Meaning, as I scroll
I have them
up,
going 1-5 in the division.
the Bears are 4-13 for me. Even I think
They're
that's
5-12.
Even for me, I think that's a little bit unfair. But the Bears are going to find a way to bear.
I don't think it's unfair until they prove that they can win games. Give me a winning season, and then I'll start to believe in them. Let me screenshot this real quick. For obvious fucking reasons. Fucking hate this website. It looks great. I'll give it that.
I mean, it is in beta, so it's still in beta.
Remember my goddamn cookies, though. Come on.
Is that what's happening?
Why did everything make a copy? I don't know. Like when I made a screenshots, I got copies of copies of copies. It's weird. Oh, maybe fucking OneDrive decided to do shit.
It's always OneDrive.
I don't even have OneDrive activated, and yet it still tries to copy shit. I'm like,
yeah, it makes no goddamn sense. Microsoft, you're stupid.
Fuck you, OneDrive. All right, which leads us to
the Lions.
The Lions.
Now,
who I already have at 7-0.
Yeah, they're already 7-0 for me, but I think that might go down a little bit. I love the Lions. However, they did lose both their coordinators, even though I'm pretty sure there's continuity. So, we're going to find out how much of an effect Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn really did have on that team.
Yeah, I think they're gonna. As much as I believe in them, you're gonna see a lot more losses on especially with the news we have today.
Yeah, but
especially with
week 1, I'm going to get the Packers a mulligan. This is not because Draz is a Packers fan, and I'm trying to get some, hey, good job from him. They might stumble out the gate week 1 because of everything that's happened. Legitimately.
Well, I have the Packers winning at home simply because we have a better run game right now. On paper, anyway. We didn't lose any pieces on the offensive line.
And then I have the Lions winning their next 5 games, and then we go to Tampa. I think I could confidently say I would have Tampa win this. Because we did it last year against a very much better Lions team.
I picked this as a win last year, and I'm going to do it again.
All right, then
even though y'all lost your coordinator as well, but
no, at least fuck Liam Cohen. That guy can go sit on a cactus. And then we got this. Right. They win against the Vikings. They'll lose the grudge match against the Commanders. They'll lose against the Eagles. But then they'll go on a 3-game win streak against the Giants, Packers, and Cowboys.
I'm going to have them mulligan against the Giants.
Mulligan?
Then they're going to beat the Packers because they're going to be angry. And then they're going to beat
I will say a pissed off Lions team is the most fun one to watch.
Yeah, and then they're going to beat the Cowboys.
Good, as they should.
They're going to be stunned by the Rams.
I can't do it. That storyline has played itself out enough times, and the Lions are tired of it. They need to make it die.
And then I'll have them, because I already have them beating the Steelers. I'm gonna have them beat the Vikings, and then
And I
beat
will
the
say
Bears
the
to finish out
Vikings
the
will
season.
split the series. But that still means that the Lions are 12-5, which I think was their their record last year was 15-2, right?
Yeah,
They're still 12-5, which is still very, very good.
I have them 10-6.
You're missing a game.
What game am I missing? Oh, the Packers. I have them 11-6.
Okay, there you go.
I swear I clicked it, but
But still, 12-5 is not that bad. Actually, it's more than not that bad. It's very, very good. I think they actually when they
I
went to the, I think
honestly
when they went
think
to the NFC Championship game, they were 12-5.
I honestly think that I cooked with this 11-6 because losing two coordinators and the biggest piece on your offensive line is worth at least 5 losses.
Okay. Packers. This is your area of expertise, so I'll let you lead the way on here.
Alrighty. Les Packers.
Le Packers.
Well, we already have them winning week 1 at home.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna have them win at home in week 2 against the Commanders. I have been super high on the Commanders.
Yeah.
In fact, they're 6-2.
They're 6. They were 6-1 for me, and now they're 6-2.
And then I'm going to have the Packers start 4-0. Jesus Christ.
They're gonna start 5-0 for me. What the shit?
Let's see.
You're gonna start 5-0 for me. Lions, Commanders, Browns, Cowboys, Bengals. And then they randomly drop 3 in a row against the Cardinals and the Panthers. Why was I slipping on the name?
I'm gonna have them. Jesus Christ! Like I don't want them to win everything. I'm gonna backtrack and have them lose to the Commanders simply because that's the one game I see them losing.
I mean, even with the commies win, they're still 8-5 on my board.
Yeah, right now I have them 9-5 because I have them also beating the Panthers. I have them losing to the Steelers, beating the Cardinals.
I got them losing to the Cardinals, Steelers, and Carolina, losing to the Eagles, winning against the Giants and the Vikings, and then scrolling down.
Agreed.
Week 18, I think the Vikings will split the series, meaning that the Packers are 10-7 for me, which was their record last year, I believe.
I'm going to have them beat the Vikings.
And that gets them 11-6, I'm assuming.
Actually, gets them 12-5.
If your version of the NFC North happens, people are going to be rioting.
Because you also have to remember that Jordan Love kind of had a sophomore slump last year too.
It wasn't as bad as CJ Stroud's.
It wasn't as bad, but it still was. Out of all the predictions
I made, I'm glad that my prediction of CJ Stroud having a major sophomore slump actually happened. I'm more proud of that than I should be.
Let's see. My worst prediction last year was with the Jaguars being decent.
Yeah, no, we both had. Actually, I had the Jaguars being decent and also the Titans being decent. Both were top 10. Both were in the top 5 of the draft last year. All right, last up in the division. Huh?
Lions fans are going to be. Joey's going to be seething right now.
Yeah, the Vikings are 8-2 for me right now.
They're 3-8 for me. This has been a phone call moment sponsored by AT&T. We are so professional here. All right, well, I'll fill out my board while he's waiting. All right, so I'm going to have the Vikings losing week 1. and then losing week 2 to the Falcons. Dude, I had the Vikings losing so many games this year. What the fuck? Actually, we'll have them win against the Falcons because I don't think they're going to be as bad as what I'm going to have them finish as. I'm going to have them beat the Seahawks down in week 13 because we already have everything filled out from week 3 all the way to week 12. Then I'm going to have the Vikings steal one at the Commies. They're going to beat the Cowboys and beat the New York Giants. And then that would be my entire board filled out while SDS is on the phone. And I have them finishing 8 and 9, which kind of makes sense. I do see them going 9 and 8, or more than likely. But between the Vikings and the Bears, I could very much see the Bears squeeze into the playoffs if everything goes right about their roster, but they always make changes and nothing ever changes. So they're just the same Bears team. So until they show that they're different, and the Vikings, until McCarthy can prove that he can be as good as Sam Darnold was.
That was from my blood institute. They want me to donate platelets again after about a week.
It took that long on a just say no and hang up.
Anyways, what have I missed?
All right, I filled out my entire Vikings board.
Okay.
It didn't take long, and they went 8 and 9.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You're a lot higher on them than I am.
I'm a little bit higher on them. Yes, they're not 14 and 3 worthy like they were last year. Actually, they weren't even supposed to be 14 and 3 worthy. They're supposed to be like a 5-win outfit at best, and then Sam Darnold did what he did. But winning against the Falcons, losing against the Eagles and Chargers. Wait a minute. Yeah, losing against the Eagles and Chargers. Winning against the Seahawks, win against the Commies, lose against the Cowboys, win against the Giants. Oh my God, they're 12 and 5 for me.
Yeah, well, this is one of our biggest. I said I could see them going 9 and 8, but not much higher than that because JJ McCarthy has to prove himself.
JJ McCarthy, I like JJ McCarthy. People shit
he
on him
could
as
be
if
good.
he's going to be the next Daniel Jones. He's not. He actually had proven success at
everything
Michigan.
Everything he's shown has been good.
It's not his fault. He was cut down with a knee injury. It's not his fault. And he's not like he was mobile anyways at Michigan. He's a pocket passer. It's not going to be that much. It's not going to be that much of a big deal. Him recovering from that. It's not like an Achilles.
All right. Now it leads us to the South.
Yeah, but the NFC North is now done.
Oh shit!
Which means for the NFC North, this is what my standings are like. At number 1, we have the Vikings at 12 and 5 with a 4-2 division record. The Lions are 12 and 5 as well in the number 2 spot at a 4-2 division record. These two are we're probably going to have, in my universe, we're probably going to have an exact repeat of what happened last year. Where like it's going to come down to like multiple tiebreakers and a division stand against for the ages. Then third place, I got the Packers at 10 and 7 and a 4-2 division record, and then the black sheep of the family, the Bears in last place, 4 and 13 with a complete division getting completely swept by their division at 0 and 6.
All right, so I have the Packers going 12 and 5 and leading the division, going 5 and 1. I also have the Lions going 5 and 1 in the division and going 11 and 6. And the only reason I have the Lions losing less games or losing more games than the Packers is because of the news we're talking about coming up. They lost their beating heart this week. And then the Vikings are third with 8-9 with a 1 and 5 division record, and the Bears are 5 and 12 with a 1 and 5 division record. Both those teams I could see being better, but they have to prove it to me first. The Lions and the Packers have a lot less to prove, I guess, is what I'm saying. which leads us to the NFC South.
Buccaneers. Wait, no. Yeah, it would be the Bucs getting first. Oh boy, we're going to see who's more biased between me and you when it comes to our teams. Because I think 12-5 is insane for the Packers.
I mean, they went 10-7, so I'm saying that they, with Matthew Golden, with a slightly better season from Jordan Love, and with an equal or better offensive line, and with a healthy Jair Alexander, that makes 2 more wins on the season. That's not a crazy.
Okay, yeah. When you say it like that, it's not crazy, but in the midst of a season, anything can happen. What am I saying? I'm going to be saying this. I'm going to have the Bucs go like undefeated or something. But we'll find out. But a week 1, we got to get some revenge for what happened last year against the Falcons. Kirk Cringe is no longer going to be starting, thank God. So week 1, we get some revenge. Then I have them winning their next 2. Then we get to the Eagles.
Yep.
We were one of the only teams to beat them last year. We were one of 2. Do I think magic happens again?
Yeah, having the Eagles win.
No. As much as I would love to see us beat the Eagles again, it's probably not going to happen. Then we drop to Seattle for whatever reason. We win against San Fran.
I have you dropping to Seattle. I have you dropping to San Fran.
Ouch.
I do not trust you to beat San Fran because of what happened last year.
Hey, to be fair, we were rattled with injuries and we would have won otherwise.
Yeah, you choked it, though.
Hey, Baker Mayfield choked Nick Bosa whenever he was stiff-arming him, trying to throw away the ball. Then we got us winning against the Lions, winning against the Saints, winning against the Pats, and then losing to the Bills. I believe he had the Bucs winning against the Bills, to my utter shock.
Let's see. Yeah, I had the Bucs beat the Bills. I have the Bucs after losing to San Fran going on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 game winning streak.
Yeah, I could see that. I can't have the Cardinals win. I can't. All right.
I can't really have them either, and then I'm gonna have Bucs beat the Saints.
Yeah, Bucs sweep the Saints. Bucs also sweep the Falcons. I'll have Carolina win this one, their first one of the 2. Because even though they're division rivals, they've kind of grown on me a little bit. Question mark. I know I shouldn't. I know I should not let that happen. But Carolina's kind of proving to me that they can hang around, barring something catastrophic happening.
You guys kind of have an easy schedule this year. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't after what happened last year with us getting completely fucked multiple times. I'll take it. And then at the end of the season, we get a win against Miami, and we get a win against Carolina, which means for me the Bucs are 13-4. Oh God!
Ironically, I have the Bucs at 13-4 too.
Oh my God, Travis! Are we insane?
Yes, but at the same time, the Bucs are the type of team that can beat anybody but lose to
anybody. With Todd Bowles, anything can happen.
So, do I think I think 13-4 is the exact ceiling. Last year, I had them going 9-8 or 8-9.
Last year, I had them going 12-5, and I was 2 games off.
But I was a lot more that's their floor or their
and
mid.
We just about hit that
floor. Worse
than
that, or they could be better.
We just about hit that floor because our secondary became Swiss cheese after 15 different injuries. Not as bad as the Lions. Game, and then we lost our top 2 receivers for most of the year.
This season with the Bucs, I'm thinking this is more their ceiling, 13-4. I'm kind of on their ceiling.
Oh, I'm always going to be on the Bucs ceiling. I rarely ever predict a bad season from them. Then again, that's maybe because I'm just more optimistic than most others.
But I could see them dropping to the Bills. I could see them dropping to the Lions, which I have both as wins. And there's 2 more losses right there. Bam, bam. And I could see them dropping to the Cardinals as well. But I didn't choose that.
I gotcha.
13-4 they stand.
All right. Next would be the Falcons. Yeah. I can't bring myself to hate Carolina. I can't bring myself to hate Carolina because I was not around during the height of Cam Newton. So I can't really say that Carolina fans have been particularly arrogant. But if there's two teams...
They're insufferable when I was in North Carolina.
If there was two teams that I genuinely, I wish could just be snapped off the face of the earth, it'd be the Falcons and the Saints. These two, besides Dallas, and whenever Tom Brady was there, these people have been the most insufferable I've ever came across. At least Carolina fans I come across can be nice, i.e. the server that was at a Chili's a couple years ago that I stopped by.
All right. Well, let me speed run some knowledge real quick.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I have them winning in Week 1 against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I have them dropping to the Cardinals, beating the Falcons.
The Cardinals, or the Panthers?
The Panthers dropping to the Cardinals.
We're doing the Falcons.
Oh, I'm an idiot. Okay, why are you talking about the Panthers then?
Because I'm giving a reasoning why I like the Panthers, but I don't like the Saints and the Falcons. I was giving reasonings.
Oh, well.
Anyways, Week 1 they lose. Week 2 they lose. Week 3 they lose. Week 4 they lose. Week 5 they lose.
They lose the bye.
They lose the bye. Week 6 they lose. Shit. I gotta stop doing that.
Week 7.
Week 7 they lose. Week 8 they win. Week 9 they lose. Week 10 they lose. Week 11 they win.
Week 11 they win.
Week 12 they win. Week 13 they win. Week 14 they lose. Week 15 they win. 16 they lose. 17 they lose. 18 they lose. I like Michael Penix, but this is going to be like a Jameis Winston year type of year from him. He's going to have a lot of touchdowns but a lot of interceptions, and those interceptions are going to cost him games. I got them at 14. Jesus. I got the Falcons at 14-3, evidently.
Are you 3-14? You mean
4-13? Right.
I'm missing a game. Where am I missing a game?
Uh-oh.
I have. Oh no, I have them 3-14.
Oh God! So you have them worse than me. Why is that?
Because I have their division. I have them going 3-3 in the division, and their only wins are inside the division. They don't win a single game outside of their division this year.
Hold on. This is their absolute floor. I will say that. This is their absolute floor.
This is assuming Michael Penix doesn't improve.
I like Michael Penix. Man has a rocket of an arm. However,
I've seen enough Anthony Richardson.
Barring what they did this year in the draft, by drafting 2 first-round picks. That reminds me. If they get a top 5 pick, guess who owns that top 5 pick? The Rams. So the Rams get a Tank Bowl matchup for the ages. If this happens. But they got 2 first-round picks in their pass rushers this year, so it might help, but I don't know. I'm not feeling it. They went the exact opposite direction with their pass rushers, and it might have fucked them.
I mean, I liked their draft, but I don't know. I don't know. I just don't see them winning a single game outside this division, bro. You had them winning against the Dolphins, and that was the difference. I
it'd be hard. It'd be hard for them to with their outside the division matchups. But now we can get to the Panthers. They're 6-4.
And here, let me spit some knowledge here, because I have their final record already. Let me spit some knowledge.
Uh-oh.
All right, so they're gonna beat the Jaguars, lose to the Cardinals.
I agree.
They're gonna beat the Falcons.
Agree.
Lose to the Patriots.
I also agree.
Beat the Dolphins.
Agree.
Lose to the Cowboys.
I
beat the Jets.
Originally agreed. Agree.
Lose to the Bills.
They're just alternating. Win-loss, 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 win-loss.
Lose to the Packers. Beat the Saints.
Agreed. And they have them losing to the Falcons.
Losing to San Fran, LA, then beating the Saints again for the sweep.
All right.
Upsetting the Bucks, losing to the Seahawks, and then losing to the
Yeah, I just about agree with everything you
Bucks in the
said,
last
which
season.
means that they are 8-9 for me, which is a lot better than what they would be
So all but
expecting.
one. I have them at 7-10 and 4-2 in the division. Ironically,
Yeah, they're 4-2 in the division. That's weird. Like I see it happening. Like
again, this division cannibalizes itself, and so.
Mhm.
But this is 7-10 doesn't look that good, but this is me saying like I think that they aren't good enough to contend, but if they change a couple things in a season from now, they could be 10-7. This is like they're in a stepping stone season. If as long as
yeah, they just gotta hope to
Bryce
God that
Young
Bryce Young doesn't
continues to grow.
regress.
Yeah.
And I will
Which
continue to
leads us
say,
to
if it wasn't for Andy Dalton
this-
getting into a car accident and getting a back injury, then he probably would still have been starting. And we would not have seen Bryce Young go back on the field. So Bryce got extremely lucky, ironically enough. All right.
Well, I'm not to spoil things too much.
Yeah, now they're the Saints.
We might have a new bottom of the NFL record.
Oh boy, the Saints are already 2-10 for me.
They're worse for me.
It's going to get worse. Cardinals win, 49ers win, Seahawks win. 2-13. Giants, tank bowl. We already have a tank bowl in week 5. And I think the Saints do win that tank bowl. And then going all the way back down, we got the Rams beating them. Oops. We got the Rams beating them, meaning the Saints are 3-14 for me.
SDS.
Did you have them going winless?
I have to come down. I have to come down to. I have to come down to whether New York can beat the Saints. For the Saints going winless.
I mean, it is Russell Wilson, so actually, fuck it. Russell Wilson will get that win.
You know what? I'm gonna have the Saints not even be able to go 0-17 correctly. They're gonna go 0-16-1. I'm gonna actually predict a tie. Because I don't actually know. I don't actually know which one's worse.
I mean, it is Russell Wilson, so.
Okay, so let me be cards on the table. Like, it seems like I'm super biased in this division.
Of course you are.
Like, I like
I'm your co-host.
Because I like the Bucks. But the Saints single-handedly had the worst offseason I have ever fucking seen. Maybe not ever. The Browns with Deshaun Watson.
Exorcism on their part.
What they need to do is just like
of their organizational failure.
They just need to trade things away. Like this year.
Oh, they don't need to trade things away.
0-16.
They need to cut those things.
Yeah, like just cut it. Like just get rid of all the salary.
Your entire defense is old and rickety. Cut it away. Your offense is being held up by glue and duct tape, with Alvin Kamara still there for whatever reason.
I also don't have any faith in their coach.
Yeah, no. Kellen Moore, he was very.
And their quarterback room is a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, you got Spencer Rattler, who is terrible. Jake Haener, who has more experience as a male model than an NFL quarterback. And Tyler Shuck,
who I think is going to win the starting job.
I mean, Tyler Shuck, he's like, what, 28 years old?
Shuck might win the starting job.
He might. I will say that. He will. He has the.
I know they're going to start with. I think they're going to start with Rattler, and they're going to bench him.
I don't understand why people like Rattler. I just don't. He's an egotistical asshole who got propped up because of one season in high school.
In the first 2 seasons, nobody has predicted a tie, and I have just predicted the first tie.
I mean, to be fair, during Pick'ems one time, I did predict a tie because I really hated the Vikings and the Saints. Albeit it was picked for me, but even before my picks got ruined, well, I say ruined, but I had the exact same record anyways. I had the Saints and Vikings tying anyways. So, but
all right.
That means my divisional standings for the South. First place are the Bucks with a 13-4 record. Where'd it go? There it is. With a 13-4 record and a 5-1 division record. Second place are the Carolina Panthers, 8-9 with a 4-2 division record. The Falcons are 4-13 for me at a 2-4 record, and the Saints are last with a 2-15 record and 1-5 in the division.
Dude, the NFC West and East is going to be a little bit nuts because right now I have the Rams at 9-1.
Ew.
And I have the 49ers at 8-3 and the Cardinals at 7-3 and the Seahawks at 6-4.
All right, but do you want to name your divisional standings? Because I didn't hear you follow up with.
All right, I got the Bucks going 5-1 in the division, 13-4 overall at number one in the division. I have the Panthers going 7-10 and 4-2 in the division.
Mm-hmm.
Then I have the Falcons going 3-14, and all three of their wins coming in the division. They're going to be 3-3 in the division.
The Saints.
And then the Saints 0-16-1 with 0-6 in the division.
You can't even tank correctly. All right. That is divisionals done for this week. Next week we'll do AFC East and West, and then maybe the playoffs on that same one. But it is now time for the news. And we actually have news this week. Draz, would you like to start us off?
Well, I'm going to start with the reason why I had the Lions going 11-6. Lions 4-time Pro Bowl center, probably the best center in the league, Frank Ragnow, says he's retiring at the age of 29.
It's an Ali Marpet situation. The man did his time. He's had his success. He had his career go. You know, he just didn't want his body to go with it, I guess. There was a report saying that he had a contract dispute or something. I don't know how true that was, because it was from a Detroit newspaper, and I guess it was like insider information. But I don't know. I mean, he had a successful career.
His reasoning was, I've tried to convince myself I'm feeling good, but I'm not, and it's time to prioritize my health and family's future. So whatever that is, I guess he doesn't. I guess he doesn't think that he can do anything more, like anything else in the league because of injuries.
Yeah, he had it. He had his career. It was a successful career, and he's leaving with his body intact and generational wealth. If I'm an NFL player, I would not complain about that.
All right. Well, I actually found more news while we're.
Yeah, same. It's the same one that I'm looking at.
We've had...
Does it do with the Ravens?
Yes.
All right. Well, then next, source: the Ravens gave Rashad Bateman a 3-year extension worth $36.75 million. I don't know how deserved that is, but
it's kind of a proven deal. But it's also like if he continues to develop, and
I wouldn't call a $37 million deal a prove it deal.
For 3 years, it's slightly it's a slight overpay, but if he gets better, that is like it's an underpay. If that makes sense. It's one of those where they think that he's going to be better, so they're kind of like stepping into. I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
I don't hate it either, but to be fair, and I don't think any wide receiver that goes to Baltimore is going to be blowing people away.
Next news.
Yeah.
Sources: the Steelers are unlikely to trade for tight end Jonnu Smith.
Yeah.
They're going to
Arthur
host
Smith
wide receiver
loved
games.
Jonnu Smith for whatever reason in Atlanta. So as soon as everybody started talking about it as if it was going to happen, and the trade talks did indeed happen. And from what I'm looking on ESPN, it looks like they renewed those talks, but. Right now, you know, if they get a backup tight end, you know Arthur Smith is just going to be creaming himself over the potential of fucking over fantasy team owners everywhere. Because don't use Pat Fryermuth, use John O. Smith. Makes sense to me. Why doesn't it make sense to you? I don't know. I'm not a fantasy football nerd, and neither is he. So why does he care? It's ridiculous what his mindset is. Like, use the best people on your
I don't
team.
know how
Don't
this...
draft. Don't trade for backups that you're going to use on gadget plays.
I like Johnny Smith, though.
No, I do like John O. Smith. It's just that Arthur Smith always fucks up his player usage. Every single time. Maybe that's why Aaron Rodgers is not committed to Steelers yet. It's because it's fucking Arthur Smith. Almost said Aaron Smith. God.
All right. Next
49ers traded for Bryce Huff.
I don't see what the Eagles are doing, but I guess the Eagles are freeing up salary.
It definitely helps out the 49ers because they did have their defensive line kind of, well, putting it very bluntly, raped by free agency and the cap. So they had to shed a lot to get compliant.
Oh, I forgot Robert Saleh's defensive coordinator for San Francisco.
Yeah, exactly.
Now.
So, I'm not...
That makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we talked about... Maybe we were on break when...
We were on break when it did happen. I just thought I'd include it.
All right. Yeah, next...
Well, I call it news, but... But Saquon is now cursed. He got the cover of Madden, along with the guy he hurdled.
And he's slated for the Madden curse, but I think he's good enough to overcome the curse.
I know. It's just like every time a player I like goes on Madden, it's always
both his ankles explode.
Both his ankles explode. That's what usually happens. Past 10 years, it's been, well, not too much. Albeit the Madden curse seems to skip over Patrick Mahomes every time he got on the cover. Which I think is a little bit of a football god bias.
It's because it doesn't affect annoying people.
It affected Antonio Brown. What are you talking about?
But he did the curse himself. It's not really...
No. He had help. Vontez Burfict definitely helped him.
Yeah. All right. Let's see.
And now to basketball.
Now on to other news.
Now to basketball. The finals are now set. We finally got the matchup that is going to feed families. Pacers at Thunder.
And the first game's tonight.
It is tonight. And I don't know whether or not I'm going to go to the bar to watch it or I'm going to watch it at home.
I can tell you right now, I think the Pacers are winning.
Oh, I know, because you don't like OKC.
Correction, I don't like Shea.
You're just upset he's not on the frickin' Hornets.
I wouldn't want him on the Hornets.
Why not? He's the NBA.
He's a free throw merchant.
This bullshit again.
3 players I wouldn't want to have on my team. Fucking on the Hornets. I wouldn't want Shea, wouldn't want Embiid. What was the other guy? I can't remember his name right now. Well, it'll come to me later.
Ben Simmons?
No, it's another foul merchant.
Okay, so LeBron.
Yeah, I wouldn't want LeBron on the Hornets either, but he would never go to the Hornets. So,
well, I mean, we saw Michael Jordan go to the Wizards during the end of his career, so maybe.
Let's see.
But
regardless, the Indiana Pacers are like 13-0 at home, away in the playoffs this year.
Yeah, and that does kind of scare me. But at the same time, we've kind of been dropping one game a series just so we could play the 4th game at home. Or not the 4th game, but the 5th game at home and celebrate there. That seems to be the trend. I just hope the Thunder don't get too arrogant. I just hope the Thunder don't get too arrogant because I lived in Oklahoma for like, I don't know, 14 combined years. Roughly, I want to say. And God Almighty, if they bring home a trophy, OKC can finally have something. That's not tornadoes or or a or a tragic event every other year. Next thing I know, we're going to have a tornado happen during the parade, and then we're going to see the NBA trophy fly away and get thrown into the Arkansas River.
All right, so next bit of news, which kind of caught me off guard, but all the talk around it kind of makes a little bit more sense. The Knicks fire Tom Thibodeau as head coach.
Which I honestly don't understand. They finally broke through, and then you get rid of the guy.
From what I've been hearing, is everything points to the fact that the Knicks decided to fire him at the end of the regular season, and they just decided to keep that decision despite whatever happened in the playoffs.
Like, it doesn't make sense to me. This guy led you to your deepest run in 25 years, and
he's also the reason why they lost to the Pacers, though. His rotations were terrible. Like,
I know, but still, he's the guy that, like, I know deep playoff runs are not always a be all end all, but at the same time, it's kind of like, this is like where he can lead you. Why rock the boat?
Well, the thing is,
why rock the boat before you saw him do a terrible season, like the next year?
The thing is I feel like they only got this far because of the team's clutchness. Like, Cat played really good in the playoffs this year, and so did Brunson, obviously, and they had like 6 20-point comebacks, bro. Like, that's the only way they won is 20-point comebacks. So I think that the roster as presently constructed needs help, and I don't think that he's I don't think he's the right guy to win a championship.
I mean, I guess that's fair. Like, I guess that's fair.
Like, if the Knicks had won and made to the finals, I think they would have lost in 4. I think the Pacers can take it to 7 simply because it's the Pacers.
Like, either way, the Pacers and the Knicks, that was probably like the best Eastern Conference Finals that my brain could have came up with.
Yeah, agreed.
But I said, like, why fire a coach if you know this is where he can lead you? Whenever I know, like, Todd Bowles won't lead us anything farther than the divisional. Like, double standards, but still, like, he proved that he can get you there, and I think he'll be a hot commodity whenever the hiring cycle starts for the next few weeks for NBA coaches.
All right, and the Pacers were delayed. That's not a big news.
That's not really big news. I just thought it was interesting. Oklahoma City got smacked by a huge fucking supercell a couple days ago. And power went out for a while. And then multiple towns about southeast of the city were getting smacked with other supercells, and they were actually producing tornadoes. News 9 was not shutting up about it. But thankfully everything's relatively okay. Whatever tornadoes did pop up, they spun out. So, at least from what I know. And the Pacers did land at Tulsa Airport. And for what I know, they got to OKC completely fine. They're in one piece, and now we can actually watch the finals be done. 2 games in OKC, 2 in Indiana, and then swap between them. No complaints from me.
And our final bit of news.
Yeah, the Rockies finally won 10 games, and not only that, they swept the Marlins. Congratulations!
They are on a 3-game winning streak.
You know what? It'll be so fucking funny if the Rockies started off as terrible as they did, then they come completely back to get into the playoffs. Could you imagine?
There's no way in hell.
There's no way, but it'll be
insane.
Fucking hilarious.
The Orioles swept the White Sox, and now have won 2 straight against the Mariners. So if we sweep the Mariners, all of a sudden our record looks way better than what it actually is.
I mean, 24-36. I'd rather take that over what the fuck is happening in Denver.
Yeah, but
besides, I think in y'all's division, if I look at it again,
we're 8-2 in the last 10.
You're 8-2 in the last 10. You're still last in your division, but the Yankees, I don't know. Something tells me you're going to run out of gas at some point. Also, can we have Ryan O'Hearn? I want more
the
bats.
Angels are so stinky.
Who?
The Angels.
Don't remind me of the Angels. Like,
fucking wasting Mike Trout.
Mike Trout is the biggest sob story of the entire goddamn MLB. I feel so
like I don't
bad
even
for
blame him for staying at the Angels because like they paid him to live like a king. I would do the same fucking thing.
You know they'd be doing the same with Shohei. You know they would have.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like I just wish Shohei didn't go to the fucking Dodgers. Ugh. It's whatever. Fine. I'm over it, I think. I don't know.
Would have been nice if he had gone to the Mets.
You know,
I don't mind the Mets.
I don't mind the Mets either. Like, they're in the NL, so I don't have a stake in it. But as long as it's not the fucking Yankees
that and they're always,
or the
I was
Dodgers,
to say, they're
I'm
always
okay.
fucking, they're always overshadowed by the Yankees.
By the All right, but that is the last bit of news, meaning that is the end of this podcast episode. So, well, quick thing. Hey, Milo's, if you finally got that email, please sponsor us. I loved your lemonade. I tried. But if you like this episode, subscribe, hit the like button, click the bell to get notifications when we upload. Next episode of Battle for the Bay will be out next week, and I think that is about it. We will see you guys next week. See ya.
Peace.